We are so honored today to have uh, Mary Pat Fisher, ma'am, with us. Uh, it is a matter of great delight that the personality whom we are remembering today, Metropolitan Dr. Paulos Mar Gregorius, had a close association with Baba Virsa Singh ji and also Gobind Sadan, especially, and also with Mary ma'am. So today we are going to explore the great relationship between Babaji and Paulos Mar Gregorius Bishop, and the great insights from their good relationship. Then, from your memory, man, please share the reminiscences you have with Dr. Paulos Mar Gregorius, especially his visit to the Gobind Southern.
Mm. So Father Gregorius came many times to Gobind Sadan. He was a very, very special guest here, visitor here. And between him and Baba Virsa Singh, there was a relationship of great mutual respect and love. In fact, he's the only person I ever saw Maharaji stand up and hug. The other people came to Maharaj in different ways, but Father Gregorius was the only person that he ever hugged, and they would stand up and hug each other like brothers. It was beautiful and very touching thing to see. So he often came to Maharaj and sat very humbly next to him and listened to him as a teacher, even though he himself was a great spiritual leader in his own right, an extraordinary scholar of all religions. Um, Babaji himself was illiterate, but he, in many ways, was receiving messages from God, knew about all the prophets, loved them all, taught great love of all prophets, loved Jesus very much. And we'll talk later about our statue of Jesus here. But Jesus is a great presence in our community. And Father Gregorius, for instance, at one time, he was very sick toward the end of his life. And yet he used to struggle to come here, even when he was in his wheelchair. And he would struggle to go to our place of Jesus, where there's a beautiful statue of Jesus, and to pray for Jesus. And he said to me, he said, when I come here to Gobind Sadan to pray in front of Jesus, I'm not coming to pray for myself. I'm coming to pray for the whole world. He said, I go all over the world. I could pray any place to Jesus, but this is the place where Jesus is calling me to pray. So it was not a normal relationship at all between Father Gregorius and Maharaji. And Father Gregorius, for instance, had so much faith in Maharaji that when Father Gregorius was trying to develop a spiritual retreat on the Aravali Hills, up on a hill, very rocky place, impossible looking place, but he was going to build a retreat center up there, lovely place. He called Maharaji there to help him find where the water was. Maharaj was a great visionary, a tree called Darshi, and he could see under the ground, hundreds of feet under the ground, where water could be found. So Father Gregorius knew that, and he called Maharaji, especially to the proposed retreat center site, and asked him to locate the water for him. So Maharaj tried very hard, and indeed, somewhere in that rocky land, somewhere he put a nishan for where they could find a tube well. But we used to call Father Gregorius in the early 1990s when he used to come here, before he passed away. And we used to call him for all our big celebrations, seminars, and especially for Christmas. And there was one time, especially I remember, when we had candles and we walked together with Father Gregorius, and he brought the Orthodox choir with him, and everybody was carrying candles. We all walked together to the place where Jesus had appeared to Maharaji back in 1983. And we sang songs to Jesus. They sang songs mostly, and Father Gregorius said a few words. And then we walked over to Maharaj's garden, and Maharaj was sitting there and received Father Gregorius with great love. And the whole Sangha sat around, and both of them then addressed the Sangha, Father Gregorius and then Maharaji. And Father Gregorius said that the presence of Jesus is a great blessing for the whole world. And he says his presence washes away all the darkness in me. he often was talking about darkness, and Maharaj was always talking about light. So they were always having this constant exchange about the fight between light and darkness. So they had so many wonderful meetings. I'll tell you a little later about something they said to each other that was especially memorable for us. So,
Ma'am, in what way you remember Metropolitan Margarius at the Delhi Orthodox Center?
well, I think it was 1995, I believe, January 1995, when Father Gregorius had come here many times by then, and they were great friends. So he invited Maharaji to come over to his Delhi Orthodox Center and greeted him with great respect and brought all the fathers to meet him. And then they sat together in Father Gregorius's, I think it must have been office, a very large room full of books. All the walls were covered with books. It was his maybe library and office and I don't know what. And I can't remember what they said to each other. I was just so impressed by seeing all those books about all religions, because Father Gregorius was, as you know, a great scholar of all religions. He had great respect for all the prophets, and he knew in great detail the histories of all the prophets and all the religions. So, as always, he and Maharaj hugged each other, but my memories of what they said to each other have vanished.
Ma'am, I know that that memories may be vanished, but you have well documented that conversation. It is still available in a PDF format. Yeah, the conversation where he met Mar Gregorius at the center. It is very beautiful to read. It is still available. You have very thankfully recorded that and documented it. It is available in Google that people can read it.
Oh, great.
That
I'm so glad.
conversation.
So glad.
Yeah. Yeah. Ma'am, as you mentioned that Maharaji had a vision of Jesus Christ.
Mm.
So, can you just explain his vision of Jesus Christ at the Gobind Southern? Yeah.
So back in 1983, apparently that was before I came. I came in 1990. Apparently there was some problem going on at Gobind Sajan, and Maharaj was sitting at the house of a devotee, not here, and in vision he saw Jesus standing behind the dairy here at Gobind Sajan, in a dirty place where they used to throw the gobar and all, not a place where you would expect Jesus to appear at all, but that's where he appeared to him. And he was standing there with his arms stretched out, like, can you see there's a picture of Jesus? That's our Jesus.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, yes.
We have a statue showing exactly the place where Maharaj saw him. And he was standing with his arms stretched out, saying, blessed, 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 in a voice that seemed to echo through the whole cosmos, Maharaj told us. And he said that anybody who came to that place would be blessed. So from that time on, anybody of any religion who goes to that place gets great healing and blessings from Jesus. So people of all religions still go to this place. Every day he gets a bath by Maharaj Hukam. The statue is bathed. It's a life-size statue, and he's bathed very lovingly, and then his clothes are changed. And there's also a statue of Mother Mary there, a very beautiful statue, was put there later. And also some forestas, some little angels, because Maharaj said when he saw Jesus, Jesus wasn't quite standing on the earth. He was a little bit above the earth, and also there were angels coming down with him. So we tried to find a way to represent angels that would look like what Maharaj saw. And he said they didn't look like humans and they didn't look like animals. So we finally found that in Russian Orthodox churches, they're the seraphim, who were just like wings of fire. And Maharaj said, yes, that's what they look like. So we had a Russian artist make us some seraphim to put near Jesus. But this place is very much loved by people of all religions. And Maharaj says if anybody comes to Gobind San, they will definitely go to Jesus' place. We've built a lovely garden around it. Maharaj was sitting there as we took out all the rocks and turned it into a beautiful park. And every evening when we go to pray there, Maharaj gave me hukum to pray for people at Jesus every evening. And so when we go to pray there are children playing on the lawns and the mothers sitting around talking, and everybody just has a great sense of peace when they go to this beautiful green park and sees Jesus. And they all come, no matter whether they're Hindus or Muslims or Sikhs or Christians or Buddhists or whatever, they all come and bow to Jesus. And the people who take care of him, some of them are Muslims, some are Hindus, but they all have the same love for Jesus. So Maharaj says he doesn't belong only to Christians, he belongs to the whole world. His healing is for everybody.
What was Maharaj's thought on the love of Christ? What was his understanding about the love of Christ?
He always emphasized that Christians have done a wonderful job of following the teachings of Jesus about helping everyone, about offering charitable services, uh, medical services, educational services. He says the Christians have done so well because this was so important to Jesus to help everybody in need. So he said, in fact, he said, Jesus didn't have a building. He was always walking along, and wherever he would meet people, he would heal them, he would help them. And he didn't just go among the wealthy people. He was often among the poor people, among the simple people. But everybody who came to him with love was healed. And um, often Babaji saw the movie of Jesus. I don't know exactly which movie. It was before I came also, but again, he showed his staff this movie of Jesus again and again and again, because they all loved it so much. He loved it so much. And he had the Bible read out to him 4 times, the whole Bible read out to him in Punjabi by one of our Sevadars, a great woman who had studied at a convent school. So he could quote from Jesus, he could tell the stories of Jesus. And not only was he familiar with what's in the Bible, but he also was having his own inner conversation with Jesus. And he said, he's my ancestor, he's my great elder. Why won't he come to his own home? And so he has his own, one time, I must say, a personal memory. Somebody had given me a beautiful crucifix, a beautiful little chain with out of silver, I believe. Very delicate, very beautiful thing. And I said, oh, I don't accept gifts. I give them to Maharaji, and he distributes to whoever he wants to. And they said, well, no, you must take it. And so I took it to Maharaji, and I said, Maharaj, here, please have this. Somebody's offered this. And he said, no, that's for you. And I said, no, Maharaj, you please take it. He said, no, that's for you. And so I said, Maharaj, no, please you take it. So finally he said, okay. So he closed his eyes, and then Jesus said to him, he said, she's your devotee. I'll bless her through you. So Maharaj then accepted this crucifix, and he put it on a beautiful icon of Mother Mary that came from Russia. You know, Father Gregorius often went to Russia and had great connections with Russian Orthodox Church and people. And this was a very rare icon of Mother Mary with 3 hands. It was carved in low relief wood, and with 2 hands she's holding baby Jesus, the other hand is doing something else. And he put that crucifix over that icon. So there were always pictures of Jesus in Maharaj's house. Very present in our lives, even though Maharaj is recognized as a Sikh holy person, he's not limited in his spirituality to any one religion.
Ma'am, according to you, what were the factors that connected Mar Gregorius to Maharaji?
I think the fact that they were both very open spiritually. Father Gregorius was always trying to teach people about the oneness of all religions. He was trying to bring together all Christians on one platform because he was a great leader in the World Council of Churches, as we know. He also had great respect and admiration for all the prophets, all the messengers of God. And Maharaji did also. Whenever he talked, he would quote from the lives and teachings of all the prophets of God. And they also shared a desire to open people's minds. So if I may, I would like to read to you an example of their conversation about that. This is from my book, Everyday
Sure,
Religion
sure.
in the
Yes, ma'am.
House of
Yes,
God.
yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So
Please.
this on page 183. Maharaj is talking to Father Gregorius. He said, all the prophets have come from the same light. They all gave the same basic messages. This light is animating all life. It cannot be confined within the man-made fort of any one religion or caste. If we let these artificial boundaries dissolve, we will all be free, and it will be easy for God to enter us, for God has no confines. So Father Gregorius agrees. He says, we are like a box. We're trying to keep God inside the box. It doesn't work to keep light inside a box. Maharaj exclaims, no, the light is so powerful that all these boxes will burst. Your responsibility, he says to Father Gregorius, is very great. With your mind full of love, try to slowly break down these walls between the people. Take a hammer. And so we all started laughing. And Father Gregorius said, I come to you, Babaji, so that you can use a hammer and break my box. so this is the way they used to talk to each other. And it was very wonderful to be present for such exchanges between them. So this is, they both share, and Father Gregorius always wanted to introduce Maharaji to Christian leaders, top level Christian leaders, because he wanted to show people that here's a person who's not a Christian, but he loves Jesus so much. And so we have something to learn from him. So he tried to set up a lot of meetings for Maharaj with other Christian leaders, but somehow Maharaj didn't get Hukam to go to some of those. So it didn't happen in the way, in the fullness of what Father Gregorius wanted. But when Father Gregorius passed away, the Delhi Orthodox Center invited 3 people to come and speak about him. And one was Maharaji, one was a great Orthodox leader, another was a great Hindu leader. So that was probably the first time that Maharaji spoke in front of a lot of great Christian leaders on behalf of Father Gregorius. Father had left his body, but he still managed to organize this meeting with Maharaji and the other leaders.
Do you believe that personalities of various faiths, especially this interreligious uh, personalities, when they engage together, they can really heal our world and our societies?
You know, there are always attempts to create big seminars, big interfaith conferences to bring together all the the famous religious leaders. And so they talk to each other, and then somehow that's supposed to break down the walls between. I don't think that's nearly so effective as this kind of just one-on-one conversation, private conversations or intimate conversations between great spiritual leaders, because the mystics of all religions can all understand each other. That's why Maharaji and Father Gregorius understood each other. Sometimes the leaders of different religions are managers. They don't have spiritual depth. They don't have a real connection with God. But those who have a genuine connection with God can talk to each other no matter what is their religion, and they can understand each other and go very deep into their conversations with each other. And I think that's what's really useful, because they support each other in their closeness to God. They support each other in their spiritual understanding. They're so happy to meet somebody else, no matter what is their religion, whether they're Muslim or Hindu or Sikh or Christian or Jain or Buddhist, whatever they are. They all are discovering, moving closer to the same truth that's permeating everywhere, that's behind all religions. The same one God, the same one Spirit that has sent all the messengers to us again and again. As Krishna says, whenever Dharma decays, God has to send another messenger to bring the same message, because we foolish people, we forget very easily. It's only when we see a prophet in human form, Jesus or whomever, that God is sending as his messenger and speaking the words, they're coming directly from God, because they're so true, because they're a lived experience for that person. Then people get the message. It penetrates our hardened hearts and our thick brains, And some of us get the message and begin to try to live by it. So I think it's wonderful when people who have genuine spirituality, genuine connection with God, can meet with each other and share notes and support each other and learn from each other about the ways of their religion, how their people, how their prophet is helping them grow closer to God, because that's the point. So meetings, I don't, big meetings where there's an audience and some people talking into microphones, that's not really transformational. I've been to a whole bunch of them, and honest as people come with the speech they're going to give, and they read their speech, and then they fold it up and they put it in their pocket and they go home. Nothing changes. It's unfortunate because it seems like a good idea, but I think for these real heart-to-heart meetings between two great spiritual leaders like Maharaji and Father Gregorius, these have a chance of helping to spread healing in the world, to spread God's blessings in the world among the people. But it's very important that those people, like Father Gregorius did, go out and tell people that entry to God is free. Maharaj said, if you want to invite an elephant into your house, and he was speaking about, this is one way he was speaking about Jesus, that he was great like an elephant, huge, vast personality. He said, if you want an elephant to come to your home, you can't have these little doors. You have to make big doors so the elephant can come in. So if a person of Father Gregorius' stature goes out and tells people, look, open your minds. These are all your brothers. These are all your neighbors. These are all your friends and relations. These are all your sisters. And love everybody. Don't harden your heart against anybody. Nobody is your enemy. Love and serve everybody. This is Jesus' message. This is the message that the real spiritual leaders like Babaji, like Father Gregorius, can give to the people, and that can make a real difference in the world. So may there be more of that by the grace of God. May we listen also, because this is what can, only this closeness to God, only going deep inside, can we meet God, can we be closer and closer to God, and therefore closer to each other. So that's what will bring the change in the world.
What was Babaji's message to all the people in the world, as to what was his message to the humanity in general?
Mm. He said that the same message has been given again and again. There's nothing new to say. All the prophets have brought the same message. Each prophet brings the true message from God. So whatever is your prophet, listen to his or her message. Follow it deeply, and you'll find your way to the source of that message, which is the same in all religions. And the closer you get to that source, to that divine light, to that love that invisibly permeates everything, then the more you will see each other as brothers and sisters, which is the truth. We're not divided into separate religions or different castes at birth. We're divided politically into different countries, but if you look at the globe, there's no lines on the globe. There's just one planet, and there's just one human species. Guru Gobind Singh said, let all humanity be recognized as one human race. So Maharaj's great mission was to help everyone draw closer to God without boundaries between us. The boundaries are made by humans. The prophets didn't create boundaries. They came to teach us to love everyone, to have an intimate feeling about all the whole creation of God, not to divide ourselves into little groups and defend our group and say everybody else is going to hell. That's not the work of the prophets. People have misunderstood. They've decided that our prophet was the greatest, and so we're going to create an institution around him, and anybody who's not inside this institution is going to surely go to hell. So to save their souls, we have to try to drag them into this box. That wasn't Father Gregorius' message, and that's surely not Maharaj's message. They both said, come out of the box. The light is everywhere. So Maharaj, in his in his simple teeth Punjabi language. He came from a Punjab village in Punjab after they shifted during partition. And he spoke very simply, but he gave the great truths that have all the prophets have brought. And he always said, it's nothing new. We just need to go inside to find God inside. We won't find God outside. People often come here from different countries. And Maharaj told them, don't have to come to India to find God. You can find God wherever you are. God is inside you. And once you discover that light, that love, that wisdom inside yourself, you will see it everywhere. So he was trying to help people get past institutionalized versions of religion, past outward symbols, outward rituals, and go deep inside, but also to learn from their own scripture or scriptures of other religions, because there's so much of enlightened wisdom that has been preserved in the different scriptures, though sometimes changed by humans after the prophet left. But to whatever extent we can hear and live by the teachings of our prophet or of all prophets, then we'll all become closer to God. This was Maharaj's mission. His central mission was to help everyone, no matter what is their religion, what is their caste, what is their nationality, to help them grow closer to God.
Ma'am, Maharaji uses the words like God, like light, love, service. He associates these terms especially with God while understanding God and explaining about God. So, is there any specific reason behind this?
Maharaj used to say that when we go inside and begin to meet God inside, these qualities which we associate with God will open up inside of us. God is invisible. God has no form. God is permeating the entire cosmos far beyond our ability to comprehend. But we know that the nature of God is absolute unconditional love. We know the nature of God is peace. We know the nature of God is truth, service, love for absolutely everything, justice. These great qualities are the nature of God, and they're our own true human nature also. This is the quality of the soul. And by living a worldly life, we get layers and layers and layers of worldly expectations piled on top of this beautiful, pure light of the soul. It's absolutely pure and innocent and beautiful and holy. This sacred thing lives inside of all of us. And so Maharaj was teaching us that that's where we'll find God. Those great qualities that we associate with that one who's everywhere doing everything, they're also in us. So we can live according to those qualities. We can discover them in ourselves. We can't ascribe compassion to a being that we can't see, but we can find that compassion in ourselves. We can find that truth, that holy presence inside ourselves. So he used the prophets as examples of people who were manifesting that great truth of the nature of God, the reality of God. He said, don't think that God is a theory. God is the reality. So he was always building our love for and faith in that one God.
In what all ways Gobind Sadan is still continuing the legacy, the ideas, and the vision of Maharaji?
So, Maharaji left his physical body on Christmas Eve, 2007, of all times to leave. And so the next morning I was talking to him inside. We have to talk to him inside, even when he was in his physical body, we often talk to him inside, and he's still very present. So I asked him the next morning, we were about to perform his cremation, and I said, Maharaj, today is Christmas. It's 25th December. Shall we celebrate Christmas? He said, yes, passionately. So every year on 25th December, according to Western calendar, we celebrate Christmas in a big way. That year we didn't celebrate with quite as much dhumdham as usual because we had just lost our beloved. He left his physical body, but every year on Christmas, still you'll find thousands of lights, divas, candles, balloons, music, food, all kinds of things in Jesus' garden. Thousands of people come every year on Christmas, still, just as they did at that time, to celebrate the birth of Jesus. And some of our devotees make a beautiful Bethlehem scene with running water and little figures of Jesus and Mother and the shepherds and little houses, all sorts of things by their own loving imagination. And in the same way, we celebrate Eid, we celebrate Janmashtami, we celebrate all the great holidays of all the major religions. And this is a way that Maharaj developed to help us break through the boundaries in our minds. Because when we're celebrating together with joy, we don't see each other as Christians, Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs. We just see each other as fellow human beings, enjoying, loving, having beautiful time together. So these celebrations of the holy days of all religions have continued. We still have worship of all religions going on at many different holy places across this large campus here. Every night at 6:30 p.m., 6:15, 6:30, I go to Jesus' place and a lot of people come and we pray to Jesus. We pray the Lord's Prayer in different languages according to whoever's there. And people bring food for distribution that's distributed to the poor, especially to the children. Every day, Guru Granth Sahib is being read around the clock at several different holy places here. Havan is also going on 24 hours a day, Sacred Fire, in which we're reading praises of God from several different religions around the clock. All the mandirs of so-called Hindu deities, those are worship is going on at those twice a day, and anybody can go anytime to worship there. We celebrate Budh Purnima. We celebrate Jain's Mahavir's birthday. We celebrate as often as possible because it's in celebrations we really come alive and really feel the great juice, the great ras of the love of that prophet, the love of God, the love of each other. So in this way, Maharaj's program is still continuing just as it did when he was here, 24 hours a day. There's always somebody sitting in different places, remembering God, reading praises of God. So because of this atmosphere that's created after 50, 60 years of this kind of program going on here all the time, a lot of miracles keep happening here. When people come to this place, they feel at once a sense of great peace and of the presence of God. So even if they're atheists, they feel something when they come here. And they feel a great sense of release because they've come out of their busy lives into a place of peace and love and joy. So, but we also have charitable programs. As soon as Maharaj left his body, we started a little school, a free school for poor children in his name, Baba Visa Singh Ji Primary School, nursery through 5th grade. And so 180 kids are getting free, good quality CBSE education at those with uniforms and good curriculum and lots of interesting, wonderful activities and learning about all religions and celebrating all religions. We offer clothing to the poor, medicines to the poor. There are all kinds of charitable programs that are also going on all the time, along with the spiritual programs. And from time to time, we'll have conferences and we celebrate Maharaj's birthday, Christmas, Guru Gobind Singh's birthday, Guru Nanak's birthday, all the big holy days we keep celebrating. So we're also taking all the videos that we have of Maharajji and putting them on the YouTube and audio tapes. We're putting them on Spotify, whatever audio books programs we can, so that more and more people around the world can receive this message of oneness, of love that crosses all the boundaries that we humans have foolishly, ignorantly set up between ourselves. So, by the grace of God, the program is going on even in Babaji's physical absence, perhaps even more so than ever, because now we have new ways to share it, such as this program. We're very happy to be remembering Father Gregorius's wonderful presence here. And by social media, by every new kinds of technology that's coming, we have the chance to make a difference in the world. As we all know, the news from the outer world is very bad. Seems like things have gotten very crazy, and so much of violence, so much of hatred, so much of greed, so much of corruption and crime in the world. But as Jesus promised, as Maharaj also told us, the day will come when that great love of God will come and sweep away all the darkness and bring God's love like a huge wave of healing into the world.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind words. We all know, ma'am, you are a well-known author and a speaker, a scholar. Your books, Living Religions, is very well known among all the academic circles, and also your books, especially inspire many of us. And through your humility, ma'am, you accepted this interview, and I believe that many people will come to know more about. Babaji and his relationship with Mar Gregorius as a medium of engaging all religions towards one goal. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sparing your valuable time to us.
Thank you so much, Father.
Thank
It's
you.
a joy.
Thank you.